In this live trading room session, a coach breaks down choppy market conditions in real time, showing students how to identify valid supply and demand zones, read stop hunts and liquidity sweeps, use the Fibonacci tool 2 different ways, and decide when a day just isn't worth trading.
So it looks like MYM is coming off this supply, right? This one is a little bit cleaner than M2K, right? You can see clear bearish market structure coming off of it, right? In comparison to M2K, right? It was more choppy. We did see a move down, but we pushed back up, right? And MYM tried to push back up, but we were never able to come past this supply that was formed. But, the market has been pretty bullish, I will say. So I'm not going to go chasing shorts. Still have this supply here from yesterday's dump. For demand, we did come off this 1 hour demand yesterday. So there was a good opportunity overnight for a little bit of a bullish push up if you were looking. But now let's see what we have for demand. We do have this little 15-minute here. I think that's pretty much the only fresh one that I see. Or if we come to the 30-minute, right, the zone would be like a little bit further down here. So it all depends what time frame you like to draw your zones on, right? And then M and Q. Yeah, so this price action does not look good, right? Like back and forth, right? So we'll see, because I don't really see on M and Q any fresh supply or demand. I mean, there is a demand sitting more down here towards day low. Supplies, and we did come off the supply, so pretty similar to the other indices. So we'll see what it does. I don't think we have any news today. So usually news serves as a catalyst to kind of push price where it needs to go. So without any news, we'll see if we can even, break out of this range potentially, or see, some good price action. So we can go back to futures now, see what this stuff is doing. All right, so here, we're waiting for either a demand bounce, right? Or a breaker structure to the downside and a pullback. MNQ, yep, this is it here. We tapped into this supply. I think this was a 15-minute. Yeah, and even that, this supply was tested twice. I'll just be careful with that. You see it was tested here once yesterday, and now we tested it again. So not my favorite when they're tested twice, but we did see, push down off of it with the breaker structure, and now we're trying to break this low again. So now, boom, we have another breaker structure. But also you see here, we are running into this mini demand, right? So could potentially be caught in between supply and demand, right? So usually I like when there's a little bit more space, right? And that all depends what time frame you're looking at, right? Because on the 15-minute, right, there's not really the demand there. But if I go to the 5-minute, it is there, right? This little consolidation area before this push up that created that breaker structure, right? So that could be the reason we're seeing a little bit of a bounce right now, right? And then also this probably lines up with a 50% retracement, right? So not quite, just shy of it. So I would want to see price come down more and either form some bullish market structure off of this area of interest, or a continued push down to break this demand and then a pullback to take it short to this demand towards day low. Jab seal acts for Euro USD. Yeah, so 6E, same thing, right? Just on the futures market. I don't really look at currencies, but we can get some key levels here. All right, so market was bullish. All right, looks like it wants to pull back a little bit now. Lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. All right, and then our next demand is going to be, see, this one's a little bit tricky, right? Because this technically is a demand here, right? But you can see we tested it once there, just wicked out of it on the same day. And then the next demand, is going to be further down in this area here. In terms of trades, though, we're already at an extended low, so it may be hard to catch shorts. But for longs, you would either want to see a demand touch into this demand and then reverse, or for it to take this liquidity here from yesterday's low and then reverse off of that. So usually you want price to get to either a demand or a liquidity point, right? Because those are areas where price can bounce off of and reverse.
What about news? As in, if there's like big news, would it go down, all the way down, or would it just simply follow the courses?
So news can be a bit random at times. It really depends. Usually with news, I'll see that they'll spike it in like a direction and grab liquidity and then maybe go the other way or go sideways for a little bit. Like I said, I don't really look at the Euro USD too much, so I'm not sure how news affects this currency because I know they probably have news at like random times, like during London session as well.
I think they call stop hunt or
Stop hunts. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So the market will always be seeking liquidity, right? So liquidity is always resting above swing highs and swing lows. See here we have a swing high, right? And a swing low, and then market took out the swing high, right? And now it's headed back towards the swing low. Will it take it? It doesn't have to, but it is likely because there are always.
So, to my understanding, demand areas and supply areas, demand is for bullish, supply is for bearish,
Yes, sir.
and demand equals liquidity or no?
Not necessarily, because ideally we want to see demand hold and not break through.
Okay.
Right. So that's usually why we look for that speed, right? Because that speed shows that there's a lot of interest at this area. So if we come back down, right, something like this, right, we want to see this level hold, right? We don't want to see it break through, right? Because then we're not sure if it's a valid demand, right? And then we have to wait for
Oh,
much more, right? Because if it breaks through, then we have to wait for the push up, or a lot of times people don't even see that as a valid demand setup, right? If we do something like this, and to me, this is more of a liquidity sweep reversal as opposed to a demand bounce. A demand bounce will look something more like this, right? And the demand will hold, right? Maybe it'll go a little bit in the demand, but ideally we want to see a bounce off the top of demand or off the bottom of supply, like right here.
what does the difference tell you between when it hits the very top of the area versus going all the way down in terms of like how many stocks are available versus like the liquidity and like how easy it is to get in and out, right? Because I hear from time to time, don't test it or don't follow through with that trade if it's tested more than a few times because it loses that momentum. That momentum is based on shares available. Is that right?
Well, I would say that's more based on volume, right? And
Okay.
then also interest, like buyers and sellers, right? So I like to
Okay.
keep it simple. I just like to look at it buyers and sellers, right? So if we come down into demand and wick off the top of it, right, that shows that buyers like this area, especially if we have a break of structure after tapping into the demand, right? Sometimes we will go a little bit deeper into it, right? But the number one sign you want to look for is that break of structure because that indicates that, okay, instead of lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, now market is shifting and now we have a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Right. So definitely only want to play fresh zones. And also you do want to be aware of that momentum that you were talking about, like the legs, right? So usually when I'm trading, I only want to capture like the first or the second leg up, depending where we're at in the chart, right? Because usually there's supply and demand in the way, right? So in this case, I would want to catch like either this leg or this next leg up, right? Or this leg, right? But if we keep pushing up, right, it really depends the chart, truthfully. But if we like start pushing up aggressively, right, like sometimes we may run into a supply and then we may just reverse, maybe something like this, right? So you just want to be aware of where your key levels are at, just so you don't get caught trying to chase a trend that's kind of dying out. All right, so let's see. Yeah, so this stuff is kind of just still in this little stupid range. Okay, IWM did break day high or pre-market high, right? Which we kind of expected because the supply was tested once, twice, three times. So boom, it broke through. So now we most likely want to get to this next supply. Only thing is we don't have any strong lows that were formed on the way up, right? So this is going to be a little bit more difficult to get a good stop loss, right? Unless we use one of these legs here, right? But even these, like, I don't love them because this high wasn't even like a great breaker structure. It just kind of just barely came above, then reversed. But if we were to use this leg, right, it would be like this, boom, 50% pullback. And then we made a new high. Let's go down lower, a little bit lower. Right. Okay. So boom here. So this could be a temporary strong low, pretty much at the open. Now we can see if, we can retest this area and show some bullishness to take it to the next one. Will it do that? Maybe not. It may be just like yesterday where IWM just kind of pushed up like a bit strong, like too quick, right? You can see here, boom, it pushed up, but never gave the pullback to take it higher, right? So it may do that again. It looks like it's picking up steam, right? And then once it touches this supply, I'm not going to be super interested in it. What time frame was this? Okay, that was an hourly. Yeah, so hourly, right? Just this general area, we may see a pause. So if I do it on the 15-minute, we do have a bit more room because you can adjust a zone like this, which I actually like a little bit more because there's this little imbalance attached to the supply zone, right? So when there's these little gap areas, right? People call them different things, imbalances, fair value gaps, whatever, right? Market does like to fill those zones, right? Or at least test those areas, right? So I like when my supply and demand has this little gap attached to it because it shows that speed coming out of that area. And it also can serve as a magnet for price to go back there.
I got a question. What you just talked about the
Mhm.
disappearing candle. Can you go a little bit more into that about like what happens and what causes it and how to avoid it?
Disappearing. Oh, like the engulfing. That's pretty much what I was talking about, like the engulfing. So you see how price was just kind of pushing up, and then we had a sell-off, right? A sharp sell-off within 5 minutes, right? We kind of just gave back all the progress that we spent 1, 2, 3, 4, pretty much 20 minutes developing, and then 5 minutes it just boom erases it. So that was kind of what I was referring to.
Okay, I get it.
I don't know how you can avoid that. There's not really any way to avoid it. It's just gonna happen. The best thing I would say is stop loss placement, right? Because stop loss is so important because that's your invalidation area, right? So if price breaks the invalidation area, you should want to get out the trade. So that's really it, what I was referring to. Um,
Okay, thank you.
okay. And then M2K, yeah. Oh, we do have the retrace there. Yeah, I just wish some of this other stuff was a bit more clear, right? Because all these things look like they're trying to go down right now, except and Q kind of had a little bit of a green candle, but the rest of these were red. All right, so I'm not going to jump into this until we see a good bullish candle coming out of this. All right, so give that time to formulate. Not going to jump the gun on that. Gold did finally tap this. What is this, a 30-minute, 1 hour? Yeah, 1 hour demand. Oof. So we could look for longs coming up in this area. Same thing here. We want to see a strong high formed, right? You can see here if we drag the fib, our last strong high was pretty much up in this area, right? And then we didn't have any 50% retracements from there. When price bases like this, you can use that as an anchor for your fib, right? And then look for that 50% retrace. All right, let's turn off the other one. So boom, something like bam, make a new low, then take out that high, all right, and then look to reverse probably back to this supply or somewhere up there.